right, hi everyone. So just making sure that Facebook is linking this and everything is working right. So hopefully this subject caught your attention about what female athletes need to know about keto and intermittent fasting and all the other diet trends that you might hear about at one time or another, and how it affects female athletes. And this is really important to know. I took Dr. Stacy Sims' Women Are Not Small Men course, and it was very enlightening about how a lot of the research on nutrition, training has all been done on men. And I mean, I didn't really think about this. I just thought that this was, for all of us in general. But she really speaks to the sex differences between men and women, and our physiology is so different. And that things that have come out about nutrition and training have all been done on men. And now new research is coming out about how some of those same trends or research does not apply to women. So this is information that you definitely need to know about. And especially when it comes to these diet trends, you hear about intermittent fasting so much, about how it's been so effective for some people, and the ketogenic diet, and does that affect training and athletes. Wait for this to go by. So it always figures that just at a time when I'm doing a Facebook Live. So what was very interesting, that what I learned about, is that 46% of female recreational athletes suffer from LEA, which is low energy availability. So this is pretty serious, because we used to call it overtraining, but all right, there we go. So it all starts first with not having enough energy to actually support an athlete's activity. And then what happens is that it translates into having red S, which is relative energy deficiency in sports. So, and we used to before call this the female athletes triad, but it doesn't affect just female athletes. So these are the new terms that we are using to help describe things a little bit more in depth. So generally what happens is most of the time athletes have 2 workouts a day, and it could be a strength training, it could be a swim and a run, swim and a bike, or a bike and a run. So what's happening is that a lot of times in training that our appetite gets muted, and we don't feel hungry, so we feel like we just don't need to eat. But this is actually when we actually need to consume more energy, more food to support our activity. And if you're just relying on your hunger to get you through this, then you're making a huge mistake in your training, and also in your body composition, which for a lot of athletes it's pretty important. So normally, just in a resting metabolic rate, which is just resting, sitting around, binge watching Netflix, that a woman's calorie needs are generally between 1,400 to 1,500 calories a day. And I really want us to get away from counting calories, but just so that you know that is about where we sit. And when we get up in the morning, we start to move around, then we start to rev up our metabolism, and we're hopefully taking on some calories, having breakfast, going and doing a workout, and then after that doing another workout. So it might be lifting and then running, it might be lifting and swimming, or it might be swimming and then having a run afterwards. So you're talking about through the day, chasing kids around, running up and down the stairs, walking to work from where you parked your car, things like that also consume more calories. So you're talking about roughly about 4,500 to 4,700 calories are what an athlete needs daily for this, and most women do not get that. And what ends up happening is that they suffer from low energy availability, and when the body doesn't have that energy to support their activity, then what ends up happening is that it affects your menstrual cycle. Some women start to lose it, and then also that it affects your bone density. So it leaves you more susceptible to stress fractures and actually breaks, all things that are not healthy at all. And then it can really get into spiraling into red S, so relative energy deficiency in sports. So, so that's a really high percentage. 46% of recreational female athletes sit in LEA, low energy availability. So, and then what ends up happening is that when the body does not have enough calories on board to support the activity, that it starts to send out even more stress hormones, cortisol, and when that happens, that the body is in a heightened state of stress all the time, and it could be work stress, family stress, workout stress. The body doesn't know the difference, and that is just in a constant state of stress. So it pours cortisol into our system, and then it realizes that, hey, we're in a serious situation here. It is not safe for the body to lose any weight. So then most athletes go into this cycle because they're not losing weight, so they start to restrict their calories. Or that they're trying to repair their digestive system by not consuming calories, which helps their digestion better. So it just starts to spiral out of control. And also because of what media tells us about what's the best diet trends for us, like keto, like intermittent fasting. All of these things do not work well with a woman's, with our physiology. And it can create more problems than it actually solves. So the best thing to do is really to dial in your nutrition and support your activity. Even when you don't feel hungry, is to take on calories to support your activity level for that. And let me know if you have any questions on this. I am opening, quite a Pandora's box about, questions and solutions that you might want. So continue to watch my Facebook Lives, because I'm very passionate about helping female athletes really, dial in their nutrition, work on their training, and also work with their physiology, and to keep you updated with the research that's coming out. And so let me know if this resonates with you. If you found that this was helpful, useful, please, like this, send me an emoji in the comments. And also I have a private Facebook group called Women's Masters Athletes, where I share a lot more information in there. And share some really good values. So please request to join that group. I'll put the link in the comments too. So stay in touch and ask me any questions that you want to find answers to. You can also private message me, and also I welcome you if you want to get into my email community. I also send out a lot of great resources for you to take a look at too. So all right, have a good afternoon.